Star Wars Jedi Survivor is shaping up to be awesome, and with every piece of trailer or promotional material that comes out, I have more and more questions, but one has been itching at me, and I feel like not a lot of people have been talking about this. One or two things, maybe more, depending on what we uncover in the game, and I really wanted to make a video about them because I think it could be something really cool, even if it's not necessarily tied into the main campaign. Although it probably is. So without further ado, remember, if you do enjoy today's video, don't forget to leave it a big old like. If you enjoy content like this, you want more like it, be sure to check out that button underneath the video. It used to be red, it still says subscribe. Last but not least, gotta thank my channel members. You guys help make these videos possible. If you want to join, get access to the exclusive perks that they get, be sure to check out that blue join button. Anyway, let's begin. So what mystery am I talking about? What small piece of the puzzle is everyone looking past? Well, in the promotional material, we've seen about 3 separate times these other lightsaber wielding enemies that we're going to be facing. And I'm not talking about the one-armed guy who is probably the guy with the red lightsaber in the initial reveal trailer. I'm talking about this guy and this guy and this guy again, but slightly different. Now, the guy with the yellow lightsaber, we do see him 2 separate times. In one trailer, he seems to have a reflection of Cal's lightsaber, but the cross guards on his lightsaber are up and it's a yellow blade. This at first made me think, oh, maybe this is a force vision or training or something. But then we see him in another trailer and he has a completely different emitter and the cross guard is out and ignited. Still yellow blades though, so that part is consistent. But the distinct thing with these two is going to be the armor that they're both wearing. Now, this leads me to a couple of different theories. One is that these could be from the High Republic, whether it's the Force essence of Jedi who had left their essence in the different High Republic tombs that we're going to be exploring, and that turns into a fight, or maybe it's not a physical fight, but a similar kind of idea, except it's more of a Force vision. I think there could be some really cool ideas there, but we know they're from the High Republic because of the areas that we see the fights taking place, especially in the one with the double-bladed blue lightsaber guy. That is definitely in a High Republic area, a place where there's a tomb or a chamber or whatever we're going to be exploring. The flooring and everything just gives that straight away. It is a little bit more difficult to tell with the yellow lightsaber wielding character, as it seems to be more of either a training area or maybe that moon base that seems similar to where we see the fight with the Jedi character in the final gameplay trailer. That one's a little bit more curious, but again, there's something kind of unique about them. Now, I couldn't find any images of High Republic Jedi wearing armor, at least not armor that looks similar to this, especially with the helmet on and everything like that. So it's definitely unique. And I know there are Old Republic Jedi, and I know the Old Republic is far older than the High Republic, but there are Old Republic Jedi who wore armor, but still it wasn't quite like this kind of armor. It was definitely more kind of body armor, similar to what we saw the Jedi generals wearing during the Clone Wars. Not exactly the same, but kind of similar. No helmets though, and that's kind of the curious part, is the helmets. So even though my first theory is one that I think would be pretty awesome to see, is this either Force vision or the essence of the Force, almost like the sentries on Zepho, that would power the suit of armor to wield the lightsaber with the skills of the Jedi that's in this chamber. Maybe it teaches Cal a lesson, or it's a challenge through the Force that he has to pass to learn a new skill, or even just from a gameplay perspective, add another really cool fight to go and experience in these chambers. I think that could be really, really awesome from that perspective. But the other option is maybe they are bounty hunters who learned how to wield the lightsaber, or potentially fallen Jedi who learned how to wield a lightsaber. Now, why is this the case? Well, of course, they're wearing armor that looks like bounty hunters, particularly the armor that the Bedlam Raiders are wearing looks quite similar, especially for the character that is wielding the yellow cross-guarded lightsaber. Looks very similar to the Bedlam Raiders armor. Doesn't necessarily mean that they are part of the Bedlam Raiders or that that's what this is, but I thought it was something interesting to point out nonetheless. Now, considering the guy who seems to be the leader of the Bedlam Raiders is a Jedi who they can live for hundreds of years and are almost impossible to kill because they regrow their little tentacly pieces once you cut them, even with a lightsaber, it would make sense that he would potentially find some use in bounty hunters who can wield a lightsaber. Or if he came across any lightsabers whose owners had no more use for them, he would pick them up and have some of his better troops in his ranks be able to train with them and get good with those lightsabers. That would make a lot of sense. It's something that I think anyone in that position would do. Or it could also be fallen Jedi who are also trying to survive after Order 66. And maybe they found bounty hunting as lucrative as long as they didn't show their face, because the Empire could always come down and get you. And I think we have a couple of interesting options here for who both of these characters are. Now, it could be the case that both of these are true, and there are lightsaber wielding bounty hunters, and there are also these sentries who wield lightsabers and turn into a boss fight in these different High Republic chambers. It could all be true. It could also all be wildly false, because this is just my wild speculation off of literally maybe 2 seconds of gameplay visuals in trailers that have no context to them. So kind of a lot of digging happening, but I think there are some really interesting ideas that could be at play here. Now, I'm always open for more lightsaber combat. I'm always open for more lightsaber boss fights. They were awesome in Jedi Fallen Order, and having more options to experience and to fight against in Survivor would be fantastic, especially considering that this game seems to be doing everything bigger and better. It would be great if the lightsaber opponents were also a part of that bigger and better, with many more options to go and fight. All that said, you let me know down below, what do you think? Do you think that these could be fallen Jedi? Do you think it could be just bounty hunters who simply learned how to wield a lightsaber? We have seen different non-Force users be able to wield a lightsaber in various different parts of Star Wars media, whether it's the Mandalorians with the dark saber. I know that one's a little bit unique, but Sabine Wren wielded Ezra's lightsaber. We also have Finn, who, while he's Force sensitive, wasn't trained when he's using it in The Force Awakens. You don't even really know he's Force sensitive, but he uses it in a fight. It is possible for a non-Force user to wield a lightsaber, and that could be the case here. It would be interesting to see that play out. But again, I'm also very much rooting for the fact that these are either the essence of certain Jedi in these High Republic tombs, or it could be these really strong visions left in these tombs that Cal has to overcome to either learn new skills or to learn a certain lesson as the story progresses, or maybe a combination of both. I don't know. Let me know down below what you think. Let's have a conversation. I would love to have a conversation with you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
But I can tell you this. If there is any hope of surviving, we must stand against the darkness.